What's up, nerds? I'm Satoru. I'm proud to be a nerd, and you should be too. I know it's a little bit later than I usually stream nowadays. We're kind of back to the old 10 p.m. start today, and I'm saying it's only because AEW Collision was airing tonight instead of Saturday because of basketball. It's actually, the main event is actually still going as I go live here, but that will be in just a few minutes here. So I'm just gonna mention. Well, first off, tonight we're gonna be playing more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. We got definitely the rest of Case 3. I feel I'm like 98.6% sure that we're going to finish this case tonight and start the next one. I forget if this game has 4 or 5 cases. I don't remember off the top of my head. It feels like they usually have 5. But I am not going to, don't quote me on that. Also tonight, I'm actually trying out some new things in OBS. Because I've noticed that footage from my capture card has been grainy. I definitely noticed like some sort of a iffy quality stuff about that. And I've just kind of like stuck with it for a good while, but I think it's time to actually like try and do something about it. So I was trying to look up a few things, and I found some suggestions. So hopefully those will work out. They probably will show up on stream itself, but on local recording they should definitely show. At least I hope. Let's just keep fingers crossed on that. As I try and stall for more time. Why is this main event running long? Look, I get it for last night. I'll just say I'll get into my wrestling nerd mode right here. Last night's Dynamite was like one of the best episodes that I've seen in quite a long time. It's like every match, save for maybe the tag title match, was like an absolute banger. Yeah, the tag match was kind of just an excuse for a promo. That's pretty much all that was. And I'll admit the promo was pretty good. I mean, MJF knows how to work the mic. We know that. We definitely know that. But just like aside from that, the match quality was just so good. I mean, they definitely bring a lot of stuff out for the Owen Hart tournament. It's just amazing. I even liked the opening match, and I'm so critical of Mercedes Moné in AEW, but even she put on a great match with Athena. It was so fucking good. I know there's probably like only a subset of you that actually care about this stuff as much as I do. And just as I keep on talking about this, I missed the damn, I missed the finish. I don't know how the hell that happens. Oh boy. But unless there's some baloney back here afterwards here, unless there's some angle after the match, which I don't think there is, we can finally begin the video game here. So let me switch my input source on my TV. We can unmute it now so that Warner Brothers doesn't copyright me, and we can move over in OBS as well. There we go. I mean, it's either that or I talk about the Mets. Pick your poison. So the Mets won tonight. The Mets actually made really quick time with their game. They finished up like at least 15 minutes ago, which is quite a bit here. Okay, so to recap the case for what we did last time. After investigating everything, there's been lots of dirty secrets going around Lamy Rar and her character, more or less. But basically, we know that Detective Darian Crescend is the culprit. But we're going to have to figure out the why and the how, is pretty much all this trial is. We know who did it. We basically know. After worker research and almost 6 hours of deployment script tweaking, I could finally make an EC2 server load up a basic script. Progress! Very nice. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy, we're leaving. Darian, wait! I never liked you. The review. Huh? We were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Bang. What was that? Oh, I think I know who this is. He is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valid Grammary, I exclaimed as he walked in through the door, normally. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valance? Ha 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 ha! A preposterous proposition! How could I stand to stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ooh, with vanishing magic? Indeed, I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. Okay, one thing I am noticing with my video right now, I think there's a little bit of lag going on. I think it might actually be processing a bit slower. Like here, I'm pressing X right now. Yeah, I see like a little bit more delay than I was getting before. I might have to check out how that actually pans out. But before I go, a word of warning. It doesn't look too bad from this side. I hope not. But I could definitely feel it. It's however my settings were before, it felt pretty like lagless. Oh, I'm definitely not playing. I would never play a game off of OBS, not even before. Like, I feel like there was still lag when I saw when I would check game screen on OBS. There was definitely some lag there. But this is more. This is definitely more. Oh God, I don't know how some people can do it. It's kind of rough, honestly. Do I have a setting for this, actually? Is there a setting I forgot to check? When you don't have another screen to plug into directly, you don't have much choice. That's very true. Okay, this setting wasn't there before, so I'm gonna see what this does. Nah, that doesn't change it. I don't think it matters. I think I just skipped that line from Trucy. Warning? What? A grand grammary glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. A glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. It usually involves cutting up things like people or elephants, or the Eiffel Tower. Anything, really. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert. Lamirar's disappearing act. And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience.
What the fuck? Since when has a trial ever not started at 10 a.m.? This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Have the planets aligned? Are pigs flying? Huh? Did something happen? This is a first.
It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business.
Great. I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas.
Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again.
Hospital?
I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning.
Chief Justice's son? Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
There's an article about it There's an article about it in the newspaper. If you care to read about it yourself.
Huh. Incuritis. Where have I heard that before? Hey, we have heard about that before. I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me. Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. Bum bum.
My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of... how do you say this name again?
Machi Tobaye, our suspect fortissimo.
Right. It's his trial in any case.
The defense is prepared, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor?
No, well, yes. It's just I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Incuritis, was it? That article said there is no known cure. Dear Judge, let me say with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law.
Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. Asked Interpol about that number. IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescend. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out.
Hold it! Wait! That voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him?
That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darien.
No way!
Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darien would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect?
I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings.
Darien Crescend is a member of my band, the Gaviners. He's also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. He's clearly covering for his buddy. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Air Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi.
An alibi?
Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Gaviners ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guests took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamirar, and Machi, along with a drummer and bassist for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamirar and the defendant, Machi Tobaye, had left the stage at that point, and the Gaviners were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you. And Apollo, you heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Lamirar herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime, when she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescend talking.
But that's impossible! Detective Crescend was...
Precisely. Detective Crescend was on stage getting his groove on, no less. Voila. A perfect alibi.
I mean, clearly the answer is the murder did not occur during the third set. Clearly it happened during Lamirar's song.
Does the defense have anything to add to this?
It's true, when I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. Salamence looks kind of easy at first glance. Oh, yeah, I have not seen its moveset yet. So we'll take a look at that at some point.
It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darien Crescend's alibi has been acknowledged.
Which means that Lamirar was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true.
Electros looks like an easy counter. Oh, does it have Earthquake?
Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict.
It's only special moves and no flying type moves? Oh, Earthquake is the only physical move? No flying type moves, but it's Flying Terra. Oh, that's so weird. That's really weird. Oh, Terra Blast. Okay, that's its, Oh, no, it's got Moxie? Oh, no. Is it, though? I thought we were having problems with Moxie on Quaquaval. I'm a little, concerned about that. It won't one-shot anything turn 1, most likely. I hope not. As long as they can't be hit by Earthquake.
Then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections...
Uh-oh, Apollo. If he declares a verdict now... but Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lamirar might have been lying to protect Machi. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? Earthquake, Flamethrower, Terra Blast, Dragon Pulse. Yeah, like, if you have a, yeah, Electros would be good. Just like an electric type that is immune to Earthquake. That's the case? What's about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Latus's death?
This meeting's over.
Heatwave opener, 1 breaking swipe partway in, 1 dragon dance towards the end. Heatwave? Oh, Heatwave just to get rid of the air balloon, I bet. Darien? Machi was trying to tell us something, I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him under oath.
Very well. The court finds the defendant... what was his name again?
Objection! Your Honor! Resets player stats twice. Player stats twice. Its own only once.
No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis or... Mr. Justice?
Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Acid spray is going to be the play. Ooh, okay.
Exactly who else do you need to hear from?
Witness who until now has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English.
You don't mean.
I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Tobaye to the stand.
What? But he doesn't speak English!
We'll use an interpreter.
Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases such as I love you and where is the toilet.
The defense would like to request Lamirar as the interpreter.
Lamirar? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant.
But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie?
This is most unusual.
Bravo, Air Forehead. Their judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Lamirar lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that.
Why doesn't the court have an interpreter? I don't know. Borginia seems like a very, very, obscure country. What kind of backwards-ass court is this? It's the American court system, that's what it is. Japan America, I guess.
Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little case for refusal.
Finally, some progress.
Bailiff, please show the defendant at Lamirar to the witness stand.
I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with, if you would, Lamirar.
Yes. He says Machi Tobaye, the defendant.
This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular.
So far, so good.
Very well. Mr. Justice, if you would.
If I would what, Your Honor?
What? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about?
What do I want him to testify about?
I hadn't thought that far yet.
Apollo, aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying?
Excuse me a moment, if I might speak.
Yes, Lamirar?
Just now, Machi said there is something about which he wishes to testify.
Machi wants to testify about something? What could it be?
What sort of testimony is he talking about?
One moment, please.
The suspense is killing me. What? What? What?
Well, Lamirar?
According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence.
What?
This is a surprise.
Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means.
Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Lamirar, I mean Machi, please testify to the court.
Very well.
Proof of innocence.
He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them.
Well, that sounds fair.
I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely.
I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamirar to know the meaning of that song.
Lamirar, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked.
Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamirar might be protecting the witness.
Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would.
Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday, it'll work today. I'm gonna need all of this liquid. So if the ring is available, we know that it's a we know that it's gonna be something here. So why would I not just perceive everything? Let's see. Is it in his eyes? Oh, it is. He's looking to the side. Aw, Machi. Machi. Come on. You're blowing it here. Ah, you blew it, buddy. Come on, kiddo. That's the easiest thing to see. Come on. Neji told me this all the way back in the Chunin exam. Come on. Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment Lamirar said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you?
What are you saying? Of course he can't.
Must he continue the charade?
Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English.
Huh?
Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language. That is all.
What? Give me a break.
Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance?
Well, yeah, but...
I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language.
Well, then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics?
Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper.
The newspaper?
The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know.
And yet they don't have an interpreter in the courtroom natively.
They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland.
What's up, bro? I was right.
What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they are quite fierce all of a sudden.
Machi is lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying. It's about the newspaper they're talking about, right? Yes. Of course, we have the actual newspaper, and it doesn't mention the lyrics whatsoever. Take that. Kid, you're fucking up here. I have here a Borginian newspaper. The Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics.
What? What is all this all about?
I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper. There's a lot of light bulbs in there. Those weren't ideas.
What does this mean?
But I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes.
Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less.
The witness will explain himself.
Machi says... He says...
Yes?
It is true I read the newspaper. But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken.
Come on, kid.
Now I remember.
You remember?
He says he heard of the lyrics from me.
What? Is this true, Lamirar?
Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself.
Then it looks like Air 4-Head's been jumping to conclusions again. He says, hold on, I need another excuse. Yep.
It seems so, yes.
No. I was onto something, I know it. I can't let this chance slip away.
Time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with the cross-examination?
What are you going to do, Apollo?
If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else. My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue.
If you must, you must. Very well, witness.
I understand.
Okay, so... New line, new thing to perceive. Something tells me it's with Lamirar, actually. I call it a hunch. Hold on, let's hear it again. You see that? That was another line where she didn't actually move her mouth at all. Yeah, look at that. She's a ventriloquist, too. Gotcha! Although that just looks like a gulp. Honestly. Lamirar. I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain?
Me? Uncertain?
Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained.
I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you.
Lamirar, are you indeed protecting someone?
That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself.
Then allow me to answer for you. Lamirar, you're protecting... Is it the victim? Are you protecting the victim?
I'm afraid I don't understand what you're saying.
Well,
It's so sad to go through life being so misunderstood.
I don't need your pity. Magician, uncle? Yeah, could be. Sup, Saya? What I need is another chance. Come on, this is easy. Who's she protecting? Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's either this or Darian for some reason, but no, we're going with Gramarye. Nope. I went with you, Axel, and you're... Nope, that wasn't it. Is she protecting herself? Oh, I don't even have a, Yeah, I don't even have a, thingy. Oh no, I'm kind of down to 2, honestly. She could lie to defend herself, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why she would want to protect Darian. Well, here, I'm blowing all of my health on this. Fuck, it is Darian! It is Darian! I am blind guessing here. Darian. Fuck. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do all that again. Why would it be Machi in that case? Was it the obvious answer the whole time? Lamirar, you are protecting Machi. Man, we overthought it. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it. Really, I trust you. But you lied to us twice, and now you have Lamirar lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Your 2 lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Ah! The game juked our brains. Yeah. I should have, like, slowed down a bit and actually looked at this stuff. Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little, only.
Fucked. What? First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Lamirar?
No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is this witness hiding?
This is last.
Watch that she's actually a girl, too. Machi, could you tell us what really happened?
No shooting. I did no shooting.
So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either.
I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, he on floor.
Next, Machi's gonna reveal the judge's social security number? Probably. Then again, I don't think the judge even knows his social security number. It should be after the shooting, right?
Then there is voice.
Voice? Or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Machi went into the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot. Anime milk chunks. And then we came to the door.
Panel high up. I take off. Run away, run away.
So it was you who escaped through that air vent.
As the prosecution is upheld all along, no less. The defendant is admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession?
No, he's clearly denied that he did it.
I know shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter.
Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness?
Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait, no, of course there is. Defendant at scene of crime, definitely guilty for sure. The sense of law in this game is still whack. I know. What is this cocoon anyway? The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure?
Well, Machi, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me.
That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please tell us the truth for your own sake. You can't expect too much from France, America, Japan.
No, no more speak. Not to any of you.
So much for your precious trust there, Forehead.
Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him.
Regardless, this brings us to an impasse.
It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed.
Oh boy. All that took an hour and a half?
Apollo Eustace.
Something about that just makes me smile. Eustace. That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some.
Believe, I know shooting.
Machi claims Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it.
It's like juiced.
Suddenly, I hear revolver. Close, very close. Then I hear voice.
You heard gunshots?
Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound.
Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead and then you heard shots? If that's true, now we can narrow down where Borginia is. True.
So you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots?
And you escaped through the air vent.
I know.
Huh? What do you know?
I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
So the vent went to both the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Huh? Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that? Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. What? That's so friggin' out of pocket. What the hell?
I hear this from Magician.
Magician?
Don't look at me!
Magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body, and then he heard the shots? One's gonna go over well in court. Not. 90's called.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. So what do we do?
You're sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking, no.
Well, it was worth a shot. That cocoon.
I can't go home.
Can't go home?
I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death.
That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course, he's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach. That's the spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan? If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there. Right. Straight to jail. At least he didn't overcook fish. That's straight to kale. I mean, if you said kale, I mean, was that what you were I don't know. No, kale isn't even fish. What the hell? I was about to read it as collie.
Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. So will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What?
Shame, and here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around.
Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
One of the crimes from the original meme is overcooking fish. Yeah, that went over my head. If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case. Lammy Rar.
Lammy Rar?
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamirar's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can...
Lammy Rar was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted?
Someone wanted Lammy Rar dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself.
What? I've heard no such report.
What are you up to is not a reason for objection. Prosecutor Gavin, why would anyone be out to kill Lammy Rar? Can you think of a reason?
Well,
think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
You don't think?
I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out.
so am I to understand that this is what you are saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamirar's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover?
Exactly.
If Lammy Rar was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lammy Rar's testimony once more.
Lamirar, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak.
You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this.
Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darian Crescend, yes?
That is correct.
At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice?
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something else, and there's something there.
There is, it seems, much you do not know.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court.
Of course, Your Honor.
What if it doesn't match up with what she said last time?
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth.
Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible.
Do I have to repeat myself? Lamirar was attacked because of this testimony. What? What? Trucy? Apollo, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness.
We had better safety save. We're pressing everything here. Is something wrong? I know I said hold it. But she's saying the same thing she said before.
Mr. Justice?
Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony. It's a force of habit.
Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days.
The one in red over there is a shining example there, Judge.
You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. When did he learn to throw shade like that? Darian Crescend? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him. The one who took the stand yesterday. The shark boy to the lava girl.
How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There is no way you could have heard him.
Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why?
Of course.
Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Did you hear anything else? Did you happen to hear anything else at that time? Anything else? Anything else besides the victim and the shooter's conversation? Anything at all?
That's quite the vague question.
Other than the conversation, I heard a clock ticking, 2 men breathing, footsteps. That is all.
Nothing new there as expected.
I was hoping for a little more than that.
Perhaps we should just carry on with the cross-examination.
As you wish.
I'm going back. I'm doing the other option. Fuck you. Zip, zip, zip. What were they talking about? Lamirar, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us.
I have given it much reflection, but
I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember.
I only heard one phrase clearly.
A whole phrase?
You remember something that was said?
Why didn't you say anything yesterday?
Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said.
This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
The shooter, then, Darian Crescend.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch now.
Which? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche?
I thought it quite strange myself afterwards.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this?
I mean, sure, I'd be delighted. It's, very, very vital. Maybe you can add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo?
From the small window, I heard a voice say, "Press the switch now."
Okay. We know this gotta lead somewhere. This is definitely leading somewhere. I think we have to present a, one of these thingies. Let's see. Is it, Oh god, which one do I push? I'm gonna go with the igniter. Objection! Nope, that wasn't it. Not reading that. Oops. So how about the remote trigger? Objection! That's the one. Okay. I knew it was one or the two. Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh?
Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights.
True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens I have a switch right here.
That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it?
The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage.
The stage?
Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there.
On the stage.
Are you claiming that the voice Lamirar heard was of someone commanding another to press this switch?
It's a possibility.
Objection!
Oh, Air Forehead, I'd call that an impossibility.
Why?
It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamirar's dressing room. Not to mention that the Gabiners were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard.
The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout.
So too have Air Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard.
That doesn't look quite far to me. Well, it is through layers of concrete. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout.
Excuse me?
You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room. That's an easy one. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this? All going hard, yep.
Why, that's...
What? What? What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking?
This is a type of transmitter, a communications device.
Communications device?
From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, actually. If we're talking between band members, we all had one on.
So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple.
Objection!
True, but wait, those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited.
Lamirar said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet.
That can't be! So when Lamirar heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
You kids these days and your Millennium items and your card games and your illegitimate offspring and your bullfrogs and your... Oh my god. Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged quote? Is that a quote from that? I love that his outburst had a guitar riff still. Of course it did. Clavier Gavin, motherfucker.
You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact.
Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch? Well, I guess we don't.
An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it.
Ah, I was sure this was the way to go with this.
What is this switch, anyway? You don't even know that basic fact.
Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning this switch...
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Justice?
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is.
Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is?
The Burninator. Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this?
That what? Is it another one of those newfangled...
That's good. That's good.
Is it another one of those newfangled phones?
This is an igniter. My phone looks like this.
Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter?
Yes, actually.
You aren't saying this switch is a remote.
I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter.
What?
Look, I'll show you.
Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom.
They put an extra in the thatched roof cottages. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expected.
If my whiskers had caught on fire...
Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself, but just ignoring him. That's terrific. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you?
You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you?
Ah, exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance.
Wasn't that part of the stage show, though?
Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right. He got it in Virginia from Lammy Rar. He said the sound was amazing. Before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes.
The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Their forehead.
Yes?
Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lammy Rar, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire.
I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed, and the guitar caught fire.
Well, that does seem to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Really? Seems pretty simple to me.
Objection!
When you think about it. Well, there's your problem right there, Lol. Yeah.
Their forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong.
What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin?
This simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set.
Ah, that's right, of course. The guitar caught fire during Lammy Rar's song.
Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated.
Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty.
See, his story makes no sense.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? John Cena meme insert here.
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far.
What premise is this specifically?
I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act.
Objection!
What's this? But Detective Emma Skye heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act.
Objection!
Gunshots rang out, And according to his testimony, Machi was in that dressing room at the time.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice?
Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting.
This is insane!
Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. No, he said it's over.
What? Order! 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 But that goes against the evidence!
What does, Your Honor?
This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes?
Hey, he's right. Look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look. Why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it.
Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason.
Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics.
You're saying the order was reversed on purpose?
Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin?
If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet Air Forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire.
Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics the whole way.
Order! 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 That would explain this most unusual situation.
It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second.
Objection!
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning.
Flawed?
Yes, a contradiction, Air Forehead, one I pointed out several times no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamirar have heard a voice through it?
Oh.
I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise.
Right. Lamirar's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man saying press the switch, and near the crime scene we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work?
I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated, immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamirar heard the voice?
A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court?
Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove, and one thing only. Lamirar heard a voice, and she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lamirar able to hear the voice? He was somewhere else, I'm saying. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it had it been open either. Meaning, it was impossible to hear the voice through that window.
Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Borginian, too.
Racist. As I was saying, Lamirar could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. He heard the voice from another location entirely.
What's this?
You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Air Forehead? Lamirar clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window.
Love the burns in this case. Yeah, this game, the series is full of them.
And there is only one small window at the scene.
Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is?
I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lamirar heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was.
Lamirar heard the voice from here. Where could she have heard it from?
Does this look like a small window to you, Mr. Justice?
The state of modern society can be read from numerous objects and artifacts. In a sense, anything could be a window on our society.
I didn't ask you to point out a window on society. I want a window on a crime scene.
Fuck, man. Do I have an autosave? Damn it. What was the autosave? No, here we go, the load. Yeah, this should work. Thank God for the autosave. Okay, let's... Damn it. Yeah, then it's gotta be the vent. It's gotta be the vent. You're probably right, bro. Oh, it's right stick for that. This is where Lamirar heard that voice from.
But that's no small window. That's the air vent.
What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window.
Objection!
Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lamirar was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice?
That's the only logical explanation, yes.
Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Air Forehead.
Okay, what about it isn't logical?
It hardly merits saying. Why would Lamirar be in the ventilation system?
Because she's the imposter, clearly.
Being like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course.
The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it Lamirar? You have been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed, but why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. Ugh. The problem here is words. Lamirar, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling.
What?
Rabble, rabble, rabble.
Order! Order! I will have order! Why did it fade out? I wasn't done saying that yet. Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you, in fact, saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moments of the crime?
What will he order? I don't know. He doesn't know what a phone is. He can't DoorDash anything. Yes, in fact, I was. I am sorry. I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there?
I believe it's time for another testimony.
I'm not sure I can't.
Rada. What is that? What is that, Ro?
May I remind you this is a murder trial. We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please.
Well, looks like I'm on the right track. I'm picking it up. I clearly know what's going on here. It was part of the trick.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. I was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bound to secrecy?
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime. You must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail.
That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah, Air Forehead? Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Very well.
See, again, it feels like Clavier knows. Schnitzel from an old cartoon called Chowder. Oh, okay. Yeah, Chowder was a little after my time. Yeah, I never got to experience that much.
Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her. So we're safely going to press, but I pretty much know the direction we have to go. Above the ceiling. Could you be more specific?
I cannot.
Because you're bound to secrecy.
Yes. To tell the truth, I was not supposed to even say I was above the ceiling. I dare not say more.
Doesn't sound like I'll be able to coax it out of her just by asking. By small window, you mean the air vent?
I only remembered I needed to be careful of where I put my hands and feet. I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course.
The air vent grate could trip you up, certainly.
So I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshots. Startled, I crouched and listened. That is when I heard his voice come from the room.
Darian's voice.
I knew something terrible had happened, yet...
So without a word, you just let the third set start?
After the curtain closed for the second set, there was still much to do.
You could have prevented this whole misunderstanding if you had only told us sooner.
Yes, perhaps I could have.
I see little point in badgering the witness. What's done is done. The mind works differently when one is in the middle of a performance. Well, I have lost my voice in the middle of a show and kept on singing, completely unaware.
Singing without a voice? Only all contradictions were so obvious. Only I could get Lammy Roar to talk. Touching her like this doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. You heard the gunshots during the second set, during your performance. You're quite sure?
Yes. Why would I lie about the time?
Why didn't you tell us this yesterday?
No one asked me. I thought you all knew. I told you Machi was not the killer. I told you this many times.
Yes, you did. But you never told us why.
I am sorry. I was not able to speak of it.
Unable or unwilling? He's not talking, Apollo. What do we do? We just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she's bound by this pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it. And how are you going to do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She couldn't have been up above the ceiling, too. Yes, she could. I've got a theory as to why, too. And maybe I've got the evidence to prove it. So hold on here. How are we going to figure that out? What describes that? Probably be on the diagram? Oh, yeah, the forum diagram. What is going to show us about the magic trick? Is it the tape? I don't know. I think I'm just going to press the final statement and see exactly where we need to present. Exactly who bound you to secrecy? I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who it was. No, I think perhaps that is all right. It is just a name after all. It was Valant Gramarye. Perhaps you know him.
Gramarye? What?
You mean Uncle Valant?
What? Valant Gramarye? Who's Valant Gramarye?
Grand Magician. The one responsible for the illusion performed during our concert. Interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. Lamirar was bound to secrecy. Going to take some hard-hitting proof to make her talk. I think I know why she was up there, but how do I prove it? Okay, so there is something to present. Hold on, I'm going to save again. Because I rather foolishly shot through all of my health. Nah, the postcard isn't going to help anything. Let's see. It's either... I don't know. I think the diagram, maybe not directly, can show. Then again... Okay. So, what's going on is, during the set, during the performance, when she disappears from wherever she is, like around the piano. I don't have a cursor to really show you here, but she disappears from the piano, falls, descends into the vents, then is crawling along the vents, which is where she hears all the stuff going on, and then she comes up on that platform up there. That's the end of the trick. Question is, how do I get onto this line of reasoning? I know how this works. Oh, that's true. We could actually Then again, how do you fall off that platform? How does that? Well, okay, wait a minute. This platform. How do you disappear through this? Unless it's just, hold on, you just, play this. See, there was the fire lighting up. Yep, you see it now. Okay, with this raised platform, okay, that part I don't actually know how she actually got down. Unless because it's scissor lifts. How the hell are you going to, do that? Clearly up here, there's no problem, though. This is how it works. Okay. Yeah, what direction do I go with this? What if I present the tape here? Like, I'm just kind of like, Just kind of shooting shit here. Actually, what was this? The mixing boards? Nah, there's nothing to do with that yet.
Objection!
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Okay. Yeah, what line do I even present on?
Objection!
Okay, that was the one. That's how it is. I should really eat leftovers for dinner, but I have a craving for chicken nuggets. Then go nugget up. I'm glad I got lucky with this pick, by the way. I could have been floundering for a while. Lamirar, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video. We gonna watch the whole thing again? It's a good break for me anyway. I just want to figure out how the hell you get down from a scissor lift this way. Unless it really is just mirrors or something. Or if there is a really thin platform under there. But I mean, that square is clearly a trap door. Clearly. Inflatable bag at the base? Okay. As we can see, Lamirar was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Ah! Though it saddens me to be so realistic, Lamirar is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo! What, Trucy? It's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets, and it's against the rules. But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There is only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed.
Ah!
He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage, through the backstage, to the rear of the forum. See, this is exactly what I was saying. Turning into a bus driver on poor Gavin. Recall Lamirar's testimony from yesterday. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
He went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling.
Lamirar knew of this because of her part in the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something. I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
He said that?
Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin?
I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why he bound Lamirar to secrecy. Well, Lamirar? I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi was right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Well, that's that. I'm still a little confused.
As per usual. Why is that, Your Honor?
As I said before,
Maybe he's got the same question I do.
there was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds tops? How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice.
That's a good question.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I cannot.
Very well, Mr. Justice.
Yes?
It's all up to you. Do your thing.
Let's save again, just in case. What thing, Your Honor?
You need to explain how Lamirar was able to teleport like she did. Or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater.
Ugh. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamirar who isn't going along with the program here. What is he? What is he, Zuli?
As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail.
Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Okay. So I didn't need to save like that.
Yes, if you would, please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals.
Good luck, Apollo. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something.
As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamirar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video. I figured it out already. I am a magician after all. Well, tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets. Come on. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here. Can't you become the masked magician for just 1 minute? Okay. Damn it, Trucy, indeed. Hold on. The 2 minutes line sounds weird. This part sounds weird. 2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you are running.
Running? In that cramped dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Haha, Mr. Attorney. Have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
Ah, that's true, but...
So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Lamirar disappears in the video for 20 seconds, but she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
You want my professional opinion? I'll bet the answer is right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony.
Do I have anything for that? Do I have anything for that? Unless it's one of those things that's just the video itself. Nah, none of this. Like, unless it's in the video itself. Like, there isn't any twin shenanigans, right? I don't think they're doing that in this one. Not this game. Spoiler. Let me see here. Let me try and pick something up here. I mean, Trucy's, like, hint about in the video itself. Yeah, I'm still looking at the platform itself. Hold on, what was that? Something did... There was a frame there that did look funny. During the disappearance. It's so fast, I can't even see it. But you can't, I have an idea. I think I see it. I think I see it. I think I do. Well, let me, hold on. Let me go back up to here. Let me get another shot of Lamirar on the stage itself. Let me just make sure I'm not crazy. Zoom into her. Yeah. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I got it. Hold on, let's see if we can see from when she zooms in. It's kind of a weird angle, but yeah. One of these things is not like the other. Okay. I got it. Evidence explaining the discrepancy? There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. Yeah, you got it, Ro. It's the brooch. It's not? No, it is. Okay. Lamirar, do you happen to remember this brooch? The game got me for a second because the music didn't stop immediately.
Ah, the brooch! We saw that yesterday, did we not?
It was found at the scene, Your Honor.
And you're bringing this up now, why? I thought we had already determined when that was dropped.
So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. For the umpteenth time we get to watch this. Here you can see she's wearing the brooch.
So she is.
Let's look a bit later.
What? The brooch! It's gone!
What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can be only one explanation. The Lamirar we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lamirar we see after are two different people.
What? What?
The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamirar, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage at the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin!
From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Air Judge. I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time.
So I was right? There was a switch.
There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamirar was replaced.
While we're on the subject, just who was this replacement Lamirar?
Why, the man behind the illusion, Valet Gramarye.
It was Gramarye? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing.
Yes?
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage.
That's right.
But this fake Lamirar is still singing. And she's pretty good. That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one.
They were just playing a recording.
Ha 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 ha! The Gaviners aren't some kind of air guitar band, Froline.
Oh? You mean I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play live, no recordings.
I don't know about that.
Perhaps you can explain, Lamirar.
Very well.
Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing even while I moved.
You were singing?
Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling toward the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing, when everywhere I go is the same darkness?
But if you were singing while you were walking...
That's right. Wouldn't the shooter and victim have heard? He was singing right over their heads after all. That is right.
Are you sure?
You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling.
Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime.
What state?
Ah, I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder.
Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room.
Monitoring?
It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up.
Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually.
The Lamirar singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lamirar singing over the speaker.
Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice!
Ah,
Lamirar?
I have just remembered something.
Do tell.
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, so I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
The song stopped?
Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice.
Forehead! That mixing board I lent you, where is it?
The mixing? Huh?
That machine, Apollo! The one that breaks music into tracks!
Oh, this! I'd completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen. Oh, that's weird how it, I think this was a 2-screen thing in the original, right? Okay. Track 2 ain't doing nothing. There we go. Well, I guess track 2 was clavier. The song does stop there.
It does? I must have missed it.
Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. Aha!
This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake.
The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamirar's ballad.
If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter.
Which means that Darian Crescend could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin,
Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
Their Forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lamirar's testimony.
Yes, is there a problem with this?
Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she is lying to protect the defendant?
but you have no proof.
All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear, until we hear directly from the man himself.
The man? You don't mean...
Yes. Though he is a friend and band member, Darian Crescend must take the stand. I see no other way.
As someone with a new perspective on the case?
As a suspect, to be frank.
Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole. I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescend, get ready for justice.
This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin.
I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are.
Very well. Court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
Aha, we actually get a, this day of the trial gets split into two. And I get my health back. Hell yeah. Okay. I'll actually take a opportunity to break as well. Been on my butt for nearly 2 hours now, so just give me a minute or so, not nearly 15. Just maybe a few minutes, and I'll be back, and we're gonna finish this puppy. Okay, back to business. We continue. We are gonna solve this damn thing. Only 140? I feel like this could have went on to like almost 3 p.m. at this point. Apollo, I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lamirar's performance? Reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. Who's saying this? Is this Phoenix, perhaps? It is. I knew you had what it took. Daddy! Mr. Wright! You believed in me? Not really. I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? Ha ha ha. Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi Tobaye off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darren Crescend. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. Current system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely that our Diva Divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch? Piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky? Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy. Right, this. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Wow. Can we look at this stuff? So, you think this was some kind of firecracker? Yeah, or one of those noisemakers like you shoot off at New Year's. Did you know that in China they use firecrackers on New Year's to scare off evil? So it's kind of the same thing. Really? I had no idea. Well, did you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. At least my useless fact had something to do with the evidence. Yeah, nothing else to do with it, right? Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darren Crescend's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door, just like a magician. Normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? Guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. July 10th, 1:55 p.m. Rabble, rabble, rabble.
Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent?
In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time.
Very well.
Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian, was the first detective I ever worked with.
The way gunshots had been described kept me thinking there was another gunshot-like sound at the time. Maybe it's this firecracker? Very possible.
We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. With his guitar playing, it fires my imagination.
That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct?
Oh, I know, Herr Forehead.
Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent.
Name and occupation, please.
Darian Crescent, Detective, Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us. Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here.
Situations change, Darian. And don't call me partner.
So much for old friends.
I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial?
Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony.
But I don't understand is the physics of his hair. Lots and lots and lots of product.
You may begin with your response to Lamirar's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it.
In fact, there's probably like a ton of glue in it as well.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice.
Maybe it's not even real hair. Maybe it's a wig. Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing.
The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. So you claim Lamirar's testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind.
You go too far, Darian.
Look, all I'm saying is you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Skye? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamirar's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. Nothing to back up her testimony except the whole bag. Yep. Okay, it's probably this line. Or it could be this. Okay, we'll press on both. We'll press on both. It's one of them. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it.
Oh yeah? There was a mistake, but blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse.
What do you mean?
The mixing board proves what? It proves there was a mistake in the song, a missed cue. So she just flubbed it up big time, that's all. She spins this story about a gunshot to protect the kid and cover her for her own goof. Man, I'd have to hand it to her if she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time.
Darian, watch what you say. Lamirar is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber.
She got to you, all right. I could see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious it's way over my head.
I'm detecting a rift in the Gaviner's ranks.
Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I'd go with Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick.
Actually, I was there too.
So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots.
Yes, we heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you.
I guess you and Lammy Rar got the same excuse then.
I'm not sure I'd want to be on court record saying her songs were way over my head. There's plenty way over his head right now.
We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots.
Machi heard them too. Remember he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them? So how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? Okay. Yeah, it's got to be presenting the firecrackers at this. Yeah, it's gotta be. I probably didn't even need the safety save. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial.
What things?
The first was this small device.
That's the remote-triggered igniter.
Correct. And one more thing.
What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope.
Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker.
Huh. How did Gavin know about this?
What, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial.
No, that's clearly some newfangled phone.
Just in case.
This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control.
Ha ha! You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me.
How so?
So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by? Ha!
That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then?
If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man?
How do I explain this?
You may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it.
He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man.
That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself.
That switch could be put in a pocket and carried anywhere? Yeah.
And I saw something odd there just before the third set.
Something odd?
A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing.
That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room.
What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on?
You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage.
Whose side are you on, Gavin?
Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Air Forehead. I have a question for you.
Huh? For me?
The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you can fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case.
The the other half.
Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin?
Indeed, if you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless.
Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set?
Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven.
You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you.
Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony if you would.
This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast.
You ready, kid? 'Cause I am.
Okay.
The shooting took place during the second set? If you're so sure, let's see your proof.
Yep, clearly he wants me to present here. Clearly. I'm thinking I go to the mixing board. Objection! Yeah. It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lamirar's song.
Her song? What exactly is this, device thingy? That's a rather big telephone. A new variety of gramophone, perhaps?
Come on, we just used this. And don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part.
Art?
You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamirar's voice included.
Oh! But what does this prove?
According to Lamirar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song.
You intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots.
Exactly.
Ha! Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage?
Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets.
Ow.
We were all deeply involved in our performance, but Lamirar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same.
Then let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now!
Lamirar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. It doesn't prove they were gunshots, though. Look, don't make Darian's job any easier. Which one is... Okay. Hold on, we're just gonna listen to here. Wonder why there's a metronome. That? Here, you heard it? Hold on. There it is. Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamirar's vocals. Bands often use clicks in their headsets to help them keep time. Very true.
did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake.
Aw, you got floppy.
I believe a case has been made. Shots were heard during the second set, which means Lamiroir's testimony was true.
Order! So she was telling the truth about what she heard?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch now.
Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire.
Detective Crescend, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
But why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon?
Lamiroir was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Okay, makes more sense that way, proves that she wasn't lying. Well, Detective Crescend, I was waiting for his hair to flop back down. There you go.
Once again, I am reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Air Forehead.
What is with today? Problem after problem. Achtung.
My clock won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead.
Detective, do you and your hair need some alone time? Make a pill for that now.
And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about?
This part is off.
Which is that? Second guitar. It was you, Darian! I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you, I know how you play, you're better than that.
Yeah, well, You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's .45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur.
Wait. You mean his playing was affected because he heard himself shooting that revolver?
You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescend? I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur.
The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon, a much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
So the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
Thought had occurred to me, yes.
Doom, doom, doom. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescend! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney.
Me?
Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on the tape that could be any. You get a little noise on a tape that could be anything, and you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. I'm weak for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager, and that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescend. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Oh, I smell lots of bullshit.
Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
Okay, yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. So, let's see. Yeah, that doesn't help me. That doesn't help me. I mean, it's gotta be the replica. It's gotta be.
A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes, not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great. Now I need to find a motive. You always need to find a motive, man. As always. They always bug you about motive. I'm just gonna press everything. I'm in the mood. I'm in the pressing mood. For a manager, sure, but Mr. Latouche was...
Oh, right. Sorry, an Interpol agent, wasn't he? I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? Not a very good one, seeing as how he got wasted.
It's cold, dog.
Not that it matters either way. See, I had no reason to kill the man, whatever he was.
But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him.
Come on, he traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. More than I sure did. I mean, think about it.
Darian, you're a detective with international affairs.
Yeah? What of it?
Even if this was Mr. Latouche's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert. Or don't you take any international trips in international affairs?
That's right. Well, Detective Crescent? That's your game, is it? Guess I better confess then. Confess? Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment, but I've never been sent overseas.
What? But you're an international...
See, me and Plains got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other much.
Dang, you still interrogating Metal Shark player? Okay, yeah. That is what we should have been calling him this whole time. That's a way better name. Oh, yeah, but yeah, he's doing the thing where he's being pestering for every little thing. This is probably it, though.
My condolences, Air Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside the country, I can guarantee it.
As it turns out, my division has plenty of work to do locally as well.
That's so unfair. So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert?
Fraternize? I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you see, if I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
You sure about that?
What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations, I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget who you're accusing of what.
Air Forehead, please, perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah?
Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know.
So he's using this motive question as ammunition, huh? Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. What do we do? Threatening the defense in front of a competent judge would get contempt of court? I know. I know. We know. We know. You know, has, no, I'm sure the keys came up the first day of the trial, right? But not in France, America, Japan. It is true. Yeah, how the hell do we get to this egg? How the hell do we get to that? Would also lead to the jury believing he'd be violent. You're giving the judge too much credit. It would be a slam dunk case at that point. Description of the replica? Replica of a cocoon from which a remedy for incuritis may be extracted. But we know other stuff about this thing. I mean, I just saved. I still have full health. I'm willing to take a shot here. Objection! Bingo bango. Your Honor, take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like candy.
It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescend, ever seen this?
Looks like a piece of candy. Let me eat it.
What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Candy phone.
Man, people are really making calls on eggs now? This is a happy Easter indeed.
This is actually very relevant this time of year. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings.
A cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else.
All right, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche. Does it?
It does. Wait, I mean, I think it does.
You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of?
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
A curative? For what?
Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. It is kind of weird when you do put it that way. It's just like, it's like when you compare it to, like, you know, all the advancements in technology and stuff Wakanda has. You know, they have a cure for cancer, or at least they should. Well, then again, well, at least in the movies, they probably walked that back after Chadwick Boseman died. So, yeah, I think we have a. I'm trying to remember the beginning of Wakanda Forever right now, but I can't. That's my point. It's like, yeah, why withhold it? That's what I've been wondering.
We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware.
Somehow in this day and age.
Intriguing.
All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol?
Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescend, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent.
So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder.
Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous! I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business.
God, we got one more to go through. It doesn't end.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal.
Indeed. And a warlock wants to know your location? God. You know, I haven't seen Guardians 3, so don't get it. I need to catch up on that.
Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things. No way am I going to risk life and limb.
My man specializes in cocoons?
Just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well. You may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. I didn't see anything immediately. So, press. That memo, that's how you knew about the cocoons.
Oh, nice one. I'm running scared now.
You had to know about the cocoons to plan this.
Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'd never heard of them.
Well, Lamirar knew about them, though not their use.
My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all.
Then I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all. You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter.
Oh, Judge, you are so wrong. As per usual. So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche.
All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that...
Dangerous?
Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed.
But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices?
Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you can say objection.
Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too.
Who's on trial here again?
Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market.
And that's a bad thing?
Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff.
Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system.
Hey, you could say what you want about me, but back off of international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts?
I think you're the police, that's what. That wasn't what I was trying to,
Down, Darien, it's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International Affairs, Interpol, and Borginian Customs are all watching.
See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says.
Why I oughta.
Oughta what? You want some of this?
Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah?
Screw cool, I want this guy's head on a stick. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. Okay. Hold on. Just gonna save again. What else can we, discern from all this? No, I don't see anything from there. don't think this actually said anything about the eggs. We haven't used this yet, have we? Article about the Chief Justice's son? I'm a little lost, actually. I'm not sure. Hold on. I don't know. I feel like it would be the last statement in the last sentence, last verse, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if that would. I don't know. I really don't know. Huh. I'm a little stumped on this one. This is the part where I was playing this the first time, where I'd probably just like do every single combination, present everything on every statement, and eventually brute force my way to the answer. But that's going to be boring. Right? We haven't used this piece. We haven't used this article yet. I don't think. Investigation requests. Do we have... No, I can't see anything where this can be involved. I don't know what the hell this postcard would do about anything. Yeah, I'm a little... Yeah, I'm stumped, actually. Let me read some of this stuff again. Nah, that one definitely didn't do anything. Hold it! No, that statement doesn't have anything. Hold it! Interpol. Hold it! It's got to be something on the 5th statement. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's got to be a way to find out what he was up to. I really don't know here. I really don't know. And again, wait a minute. With this, do we remember what he was trying to write down? Yeah, his Interpol code. I think I saved before I did anything, right? Right? Didn't he write down his code number here? Objection! Nah, I didn't think so. I'm not gonna read this. What the hell is this? Objection! Nah. Not that. I could just reload when I'm like done with this. Hold on. Ooh. I think that kind of, yeah, I kind of stumbled onto that one. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer, then? I would.
How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye.
Why sell to a black market buyer? How about to someone like this?
That article, that's about the Chief Justice's...
A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis, which is still just the dumbest name for a disease you could ever come up with.
Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. Is that like Robo-Enza? From underappreciated video game Mega Man 10 released in the year 2010?
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning.
Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying...
Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice.
You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband.
Not even to save his own son's life?
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal.
That's Detective Crescen's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice.
Detective Crescend, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let Sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof?
Well,
Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing.
do tell.
Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps, so they're so worried about Cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
New line? Nope.
Virginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked.
Okay, that's gotta be something. What, where did the replica come from? Let's press this. Hold on. Just how strict is this customs check?
Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours.
I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows.
Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them.
That's right. Gavin was in Virginia, wasn't he?
I remember setting off the metal detectors several times.
I mean, clearly, look at all the friggin' bling bling on you.
I had to practically strip naked to walk through.
Ladies must have loved that. Here's a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glimmerous fop. Actually, wait a minute. Did this? Yeah.
Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death.
That's pretty extreme.
Virginia has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security.
The Republic of Virginia is a peaceful, pleasant country. So this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons.
That's the situation. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know.
That's suspicious. Well, let's just press. Let's just press it. You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling.
Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure. But all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying. But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich. I would be interested in hearing, purely from a legal perspective, of course.
I weep for our judicial system. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he's up to. Okay. So, it's weird though, because we got 3 new pieces in the testimony. You only just now are weeping for your judicial system? I know, right? What else? Is there anything that they could have missed? Unless it's the replica. Where did the replica come from? Unless you say where to put them. I just had a moment. Okay, this is a bit of a Hail Mary here. This is a bit of a Hail Mary. So, bear with me here. What if they were in the Qatar?
baby. Called it.
Actually, there is one way.
What?
One way to get something out of the country, no checks.
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor? Ah!
Don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. Date bio. Right up the pooper. That's too obvious. It sounds like that place would absolutely go through everyone's rectum. Every hole. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office?
It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamirar.
How did it end up here?
Mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
So this guitar is from Borginia?
That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamirar's studio. They used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched.
Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched?
Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Borginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was...
With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia.
What?
Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right?
Work?
Good memory, Air Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. Broken device of some sort.
A broken device?
Yes, this in fact.
An igniter!
Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean...
He means this, of course.
There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access, like a member of the band?
Yark!
Ooh, damn, really floppy there.
Order! 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 So the igniter!
Was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems.
It was a safety precaution. Bro, you being floppy in public.
A precaution?
Ah, Air Forehead. At last it all comes together.
Every strange thing that happened that day. Here to review. Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamirar's ballad, if you please. Oh god, we're gonna sing it?
First, my keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case.
The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar.
I see.
But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler.
What's that?
Mr. Latouche.
Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself.
If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. Not jig, gig. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot.
It's over. Press the switch now.
The guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then Mr. Latouche died.
with Lamirar there to witness it.
There's your case.
Brilliant, man. Detective Crescend? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly?
For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian.
Republic of Borginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
True, you haven't.
Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh?
It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Borginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamirar heard proves it. I love how smug Gavin looks sometimes. I know. Oh wait, was that line not? No. You made this transmission from backstage.
While your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say, then. But be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. Not exactly the line Uncle Ben said, but it's close enough. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
So, I think we have a 50-50 shot. All it could be is either Latouche himself or Machi. You know what? Could it have been Lamirar? Do we want to believe that? Then again, do we want to, Okay. Who are we going with here? Try and reason this out a bit. It's someone Borginian. You know that. Has to be. So it's either you kill Latouche to keep him quiet, or it's because Machi is really scared about it. I'm going... You don't think it's Latouche? But I can't rule out Lami. Let's see. I think I'm going with Machi. He's still, like, really, really iffy about everything. There is only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tobaye. Intimidating a 14-year-old sounds like something Darian would do.
But Mr. Justice, he's your client! The defense attorney accusing his client, that's a new one!
I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Lamirar?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. I get it. Yeah, The real reason why it's Machi. Where we find that switch? In the piano. Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now think back to the testimony. In fact, I'll show you the evidence. We know the 30-foot range. What's in that range? The piano. When the shooter made his transmission, Lammy-Rar was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that Lammy-Rar still could have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar's serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lammy-Rar stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lammy-Rar's position in the air vent. Well, Detective Crescend, what do you say to that?
Your Honor. Yes, Detective? Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time? Well, I don't see why not.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. Yeah, you can see the moment it lights. Actually, that was more obvious than before, I think. Or maybe just because we know we're looking for it.
Too bad, so sad, punk.
Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
Problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian?
Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all.
Here to explain for us non-musicians?
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the Wii pianist to set off that igniter? That right?
Yes.
Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano? Broski is making it so obvious to Darian. Yeah, obviously, okay. He's obviously saying the piano never stops playing. But we know the switch is in the piano. We know. We already know this answer. This is the easy part.
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem. Man, you still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva.
Lammy-Rar.
But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch.
Nah, I already know this. Why did you react like that? Or are you just, you know... Apollo, you should know the answer by now. Piano plays non-stop. Yeah, he's got a great, he's got a great derp face. He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well,
It's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes.
Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just...
Strange.
What's strange?
No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there.
Odd. Wouldn't they see Lami press the switch with her and when her hands are completely visible? Very true. Very true. I think it's not so much like saying... It's not implying Lamirar is the accomplice. It's saying that Machi can't be the accomplice, is what they're saying.
Mr. Justice, if Machi Tobaye didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. That's true. That's very true. That's not Lamirar on stage either. Okay, so yeah. In that line of reasoning, yes, it could have been Lamirar, but we know. Every fact says he's the accomplice. No. The imposter was on stage. Lamirar was in the vent. Unless there were two imposters. Wow. Bing, 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 bing.
You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Who would explain why one of them was venting? Thus, indeed.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tobaye the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now?
Strange.
What's strange?
No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there.
Not much to go on, but it's all I've got. I guess they want to prove it with the mixing board, so I think we can actually do that. Which one's the piano? Let's see if we find a sour note. Is that it? Hold on. Is that what I'm looking for? Hold on, I want the metronome off. Nah, that's probably not it. It's probably... no, it's got to be at the beginning. Press the switch has to come before the gunshots, right? It's something in that, right? What exactly did he hear that was odd?
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machi Tobaye pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi Tobaye pressed that switch?
Don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible.
Then as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Therefore, Head, you're sure about this.
Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch?
Unless I say the switch itself. No, this just says found on the stage. No, it's going to be the mixing board. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part, around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand.
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no.
Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
So sorry, so sad for you.
No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way.
Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't.
I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand.
How do you know that?
The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No way.
What's up, General Dow?
Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. Okay, we gotta... Oop. Should have done this with the D-pad. We should be able to hear when they change. This is definitely two-handed. Actually, now I don't know. I'm gonna go with that.
That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin?
Beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding.
I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all.
Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that. Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it.
I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defendant was playing with one hand when the switch was pressed. Show us the part that proves it.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. One section of the song proves it. You know what? Okay. Let's do this the other way. Let's go after that part and see when the song changes. So actually, maybe this whole part is one-handed. Maybe it's this. Okay, I'm not actually sure I get it. Does this part sound different? I'm going with it. Nope. I'm not sure what we're pointing towards. Should I just play the first section then? Take that! Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you.
As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Air Forehead.
Realize what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Yeah, maybe I'm not musically trained enough to understand this.
Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing?
You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." Oh, that part. Okay. I understand.
Ah, play verse 2 again.
I get it. There, did you hear that?
They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different. What?
Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure.
What's that prove?
I would think you'd know that by now.
This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time.
Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. That wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background.
Oh!
That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different? I asked myself.
Now ask yourself why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. What happened? I would like my idea better if you could just tell by the if it was in the piano when if somehow hitting a key in the piano actually set the switch off. That would have been so much better.
Order, order, order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment.
What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves. No, great show.
It's not over. I don't like it when he looks so happy.
You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Air Forehead.
Me?
Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence.
Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof.
This is so not believable. This is just padding. This is totally stretching it out.
That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it.
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if we did, we already would have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Yeah, it's a very poignant question nowadays. Apollo, remember what Daddy said?
It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system.
So what do I do?
Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darien Crescend's igniter and set it off.
I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? Kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. Won't be able to press him further by conventional means. Gotta find a weak spot in this guy, something fatal.
So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound.
Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning.
What?
Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, it'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo.
What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney.
All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry, and I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Their forehead. You are accusing this man, Darien Crescend, of 2 crimes. Murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends.
I will take that as a, all or nothing.
Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darien Crescend.
Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darien Crescend's plan is... Ooh. Okay, that I wasn't expecting. So, I think the idea is we don't have any evidence that's going to work. I don't think any of it is going to work. But the other option is actually call a witness. What if we do something really stupid and call Valent to the stand? That sounds stupid enough to work in this game. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence.
So what is...
It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else.
You mean a witness?
Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darien Crescend's guilt? This person is your igniter? Exactly what are they going to testify about? Go for it! Call him to the stand!
He's not scared at all, is he? Ugh, wrong person. I'm sorry, it was an honest mistake. One more try, Your Honor.
The court advises you to be aware that your chances are limited in number. I think you're the one in need of a little igniting.
Damn it. Ugh.
Suppose we should let you try once more. Show us the basis for your accusations against Darien Crescend.
Think, Justice, are you sure about this? The key that will take apart Darien Crescend's plan is... It's gotta be a witness. Who do we call? Okay. Use another dumb option. Phoenix Wright. Damn. Damn. We can, yeah, I've got a little wiggle room here, so let's try a little bit here. Okay. Enough shooting from the hip. Oh, you know what? It's Machi, right? The one person who can prove Darien Crescend's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobaye.
Your client, again?
Machi Tobaye was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darien Crescend could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Very scientific of you.
Thus, if Machi Tobaye acknowledges his agreement with Darien Crescend concerning the attempted smuggling of a Virginian cocoon, the case is solved. Darien's laughing again.
Your unrelenting passion is remarkable.
And yours is honestly frustrating as hell.
You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to.
Why not?
The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law.
Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking.
But you're wrong, Detective Crescend.
What?
It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble.
How?
Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country.
Ah!
The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia.
And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Virginian cocoon.
Yeah, but what?
Man, that is not at all how the law works. But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Virginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now.
Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me.
Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? So now Virginia has to work weird just like Japan and Japamera, France? Indeed. The same goes for Machi Tobaye. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Machi Tobaye knows everything. Gavin's smug-ass smile, I know. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Uh-oh. Is this the freak out?
Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Don't
Yeah, there's the freak out. What kind of horrible system doesn't let a detective be convicted of a crime? It's like saying free corruption here. Of course. One last riff. Or one more riff. I mean, we got a whole nother case to go through.
Darian, I consider that my last session with you.
We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Kind of, yeah. Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk. You'll tell this court everything.
Casually freaks out. Hold up, let me pull off a sick-ass air guitar. That's just what he does. I'm sure he does that, he does that for everything. That's his way of saying I pooped today. I didn't want it to turn out this way. But I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime.
Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew. From beginning, I knew. Machi. Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobaye?
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Huh. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobaye, Not guilty.
I don't know if he really deserved that that twink reveal.
Court is adjourned.
(4:42 p.m.) Feels like it should have been later. It took a long-ass time. I wonder what'll happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. Guess there'll be another trial here. We're not doing that. All's well that ends well. I knew that was Phoenix. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Lammy Rar? Mai, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him, something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation.
It was my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny, I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lammy Rar lost her sight due to some kind of accident.
Accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Painting?
That's right, she's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you. I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lammy Rar!
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo.
Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what?
You reminded me I need to hurry things along. My secret mission, that is.
Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet, me too! And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to an end. That was more than a ballad. That was like listening to the... that was like doing the whole version of Freebird. No, like friggin' listening to the entire album, okay? That was so long! Thanks to the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. End. Okay. It's finally done. Actually, Turnabout Succession? That might be the final case in this game. Let me just quickly look at that. I don't think there's a case 5, but I'm just gonna double check here. If I just look at the if I look at the trophy list from here, yeah, there's only 4 cases in the game. I'm glad there is a 5th case with how long they're going. But the question is, do I really want to start case 4 right now? Because I'd only be playing for about half an hour in that case. You know what? I think we'll leave the beginning of case 4 till next time. I think I could certainly preserve my voice just a little bit. I mean, doing the voice for Darian is definitely It's a killer sometimes. That kind of gravelly voice does get at you. I mean, sometimes the judge does too, but I don't know. I feel like the judge I can kind of deal with a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's just because Darian was just a lot more boisterous, you know? Yeah. But case 4, we'll leave it till next time. Whenever that next time will end up being. So, also, I'm going to have to look and see how the new video options actually worked out. See what this actually looks like, especially on the YouTube upload of this. I'm very curious to see how that works out. So, that will probably be something I check out just a little bit the rest of the night here. Okay, so no more streams for me this week, at least not on my channel. Potentially, Axel and I will be checking out the Salamence raid on Saturday. That really depends. We're going to have to give it a trial shot to see if it's not a pain in the ass like the last few have been. If it is certainly doable, we will definitely invite people on to help carry them through it. I guess that might be something to actually do right now. We can actually take a look at its we can actually take a look at the moveset here. Ooh, Pokemon Home is actually going under maintenance in a few days. I don't know if that's really worth it. Okay, so let's hold on, let's go back here for a second. We can put on like this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, as he said, like I'm most concerned about Moxie, because that was something that Quaquaval was doing, and that was really annoying to work with. So let's see. Yeah, Terra Blast is his only actual flying move. Then Dragon Pulse, Earthquake, Flamethrower. That was definitely something I knew. It was going to have a very diverse move set. Then probably, yeah, like Heat Wave turn 1. Yeah, I figured that, just to get rid of the just to get rid of air balloons. Electros is a perfect counter. Gastro Acid, Acid Spray, an electric move, and Chilling Water to counteract any scare from Moxie turn 1. Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. It also does Breaking Swipe and Dragon Dance. So it's only boosting its physical offense. I see that. Quiet Nature? What does that do? I forget which one that is. So let's see. Yeah. Heat Wave immediately. It resets player stats twice. First at 86% time remaining, and then it'll shield up immediately after that. Reset stats again at 65. Quiet is plus special attack minus special defense. Okay. Yeah, it's boosting its offense. It's boosting its physical offense enough with Moxie. Oh no. Okay. Speed is SPE. SPD is special defense. I get it. It's confusing. It's definitely confusing. So what is it? It only breaking swipes once at 50% time. Oh yeah, like colloquially we would say Spadef. Yeah. I mean, you could just write out speed. It's really not that big an issue. It resets its own stats really, really late. 44%. That is really late for these raids. I never see them go that late for buffing themselves. And then a Dragon Dance only at 40. It does drop Urba, right? Yeah. Now you see why I said this one looks easy to glance. Well, we thought some of the other ones looked easy too, and they kind of didn't. I don't know. It'll just have to be looked at in for everything else. I remember when they announced it, I was like looking at numbers a little bit and just like basing it on kind of the other moves it could potentially have. And I was thinking Iron Hands might actually work on this, especially if you get a Quark Drive to buff your defense, but maybe that's not even necessary. I don't actually know. But I'll probably I'll look at this in my own time, and then yeah, I will definitely share ideas with you, Axel. I mean, I also feel like Electros is going to be the easy pick too. I feel like everyone will probably be saying that. If not just, standard old Belly Bolt. That's always a good pick. Although now that I think about it, you could say, like, Kilowattrel probably wouldn't work just because it has no way to boost its defense at all. Defenses. So that probably wouldn't work out all that well. I think I did look at Pom Pom or Ikorio for a bit too, but that didn't really work out either. Okay. Enough of that. We don't have to worry about this anymore. Let's move on here. Let's actually raid out. We can do we could all look at this stuff another time, but it's I think it's time for me to rest up here. Who is doing things on a Thursday night? Who is doing some things? Code is playing Mega Man 5? That's cool. Mega Man 5 is a favorite of mine. So let's, yeah. Let's head on over to her. Okay. So, yeah, long short of it, possible stream on Thursday night. I guess we probably still start like 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. If it happens. Again, we'll announce that stuff ahead of time. And then next stream over here on my channel is going to be on Monday, and that will be Ocarina of Time randomizer for Random Monday. So until then, thank you everyone for watching. Have a good night, or whatever time of day it is for you, and I will see you nerds later.